بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. In the name of Allah, the merciful, the compassionate, prayers be to Allah, the sustainer of the two worlds, and peace and prayers be to his messenger, Prophet Muhammad, and his family and company. Dear friends and colleagues, my name is Ahmad Asey. I'm an English teacher at Gharbi Al Atif Primary and Middle School from Al Arda Educational Office. And I am so happy to be here with you today and have the opportunity to introduce to you our next guest speaker, Mr. Mahir Abdelhaleem Abdelmageed. Now, Mr. Mahir graduated in 1997 and he holds a Master of English. He also taught and supervised at the British Council for different language levels and international tests. He is currently teaching computer-assisted language learning at Jazan University, Farasan College. Now, the title of his presentation is going to be English Language Teaching Problems and New Trends, which directly corresponds to the goals of this conference. Now, drawing on his own personal experiences, Mr. Mahir is going to shed light on some of the problems and barriers in teaching, as well as mobilizing the English language in our academic institution by focusing on two main pillars: the linguistic and the cultural problems, and how to go about overtaking such current and complex problems. His views on language teaching, or the process of ALT, as an interdisciplinary approach may reshape and revolutionize the way we teach. So without any further ado, please join me in giving a big round of applause to Mr. Mahir Abdelhaleem Abdelmageed. You have only about 2 minutes. Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
I think it's disconnected.
You did? Why?
It's not good. Just keep.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام المعلم هادي الأنوار. رب يشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I feel that I'm cheated by my preceders, you know. They have almost sneaked into my, topics but let me, frankly speaking, I would like to express myself that I am really impressed by the arrangements and the presentation of such an activity which tries to...
You're pressing on the tabs without knowing.
Am I?
Go back to the first slide.
Sure. That's why. I'm impressed by the arrangements and the topics being presented by the other, speakers, Prof. Arishi, Ustaz Farah. I'm really, and Dr. Mr. Ali Ghazali, and the other speaker. I am impressed, and I feel that my speech will just go along with their, way of thinking. But before I start, I also would like to thank, and without their efforts, I think this conference would have never come through today. Mr. Ahmad Asey, who has been working very hard and who has been interrupting me every time, calling and asking and making sure about the progress and the development of the conference. And also Mr. Abdullah Nasib, who has been, assigned to take care about the hospitality and the arrangements of this conference. I would like also to thank Mr. Muhammad Segal, my friend, close friend, as he likes sometimes to be called Segal, that American actor, So let me go on to my point. This paper, actually, the ideas of this paper, or the topic of this paper falls into two main, parts. Number one, the decision makers. And sometimes my friends call them the troublemakers, not decision makers, And also the teachers. From my humble experience in teaching for more than 22 years, I observed many problems in Sudan and in Saudi Arabia as well. The first thing I observed that our students are really, really weak in their Arabic language, their native language. And I think this is one of the major causes of incurring low performance in English, because English can be either foreign or second language, but mainly without having a base or a platform for extra or additional language, it's not possible to acquire a new one. So I think the performance and the abilities, the capabilities of Arabic language, our main language, our native language, is not smart. And I think also the next problem which I'm facing, that there is no collaboration, clear collaboration between English language and Arabic language. I mean, in terms of designing curriculums. In order to be successful and in order to be objective, our students should simultaneously go. This is what I think, that there should be kind of coordination between Arabic language and English language. And also, not only English. Actually, I was impressed by some words. Here, Mr. Farah said that English for all and jobs for all and vibrant, what you call vibrant society. These terms cannot be obtained in an isolative way. It should be obtained through integrative way. When I say integrative way, that the students, when I teach my students, I find them in English. When I talk about history, when I talk about biology, giving examples, or geography, or computer science, or whatever, they are far away in English about these subjects. I mean, they can, to some extent, have some knowledge in Arabic, but having this information in English is quite, far away from our what you call our experience. So I think there should be kind of an interdisciplinary, relationship between English and other departments. And in particular, I emphasize on English and Arabic department. But generally, there must be at least for every subject, there should be a glossary, a dictionary at the end of each unit and each lesson in English, so that the students they can know. Yes. I have just started my, research is the beginning of the quest of knowledge. Only inquisitive and thirsty minds move ahead. One of my seniors here said that people are running after knowledge. Those who run after knowledge, and we call them researchers. Otherwise, they are nothing. When I talk also about the language, I think that, and everybody knows that language is a philosophy. This philosophy is based on, many problems: meaning, language use, cognition, and relationship. If you look at some of these points about, especially language in use and relationship between language and reality, this is very important point, that the language which is not realistic, which is not used in practical and realistic way, doesn't get its targets. But there are some problems these problems are vagueness. When we talk about vagueness, and this is what really I'm facing with my students, that English language is vague. In a sense that they learn the language, they obtain the language, they use the language, but in a little bit vague way. When I say vague way, here I talk about, if I go back, when I designed, I thought I would do it fast, but now I am troubling myself, you know. Yes, vagueness, and nature of language, formal and informal structure. Let us go to formal and informal structure, because also nature of the language, which is today different from 5 or 7 or 10 years ago. Now, language today, because of social media, is not like the language which we use today by all means. Here, I'm talking about the problems which can be overtaken by, you know, linguistic and cultural conventions. Linguistic, when I talk about linguistics, I talk about science, about a structure, I talk about facts. But when I talk about culture, I talk about behavior, I talk about identities, I talk about culture, traditions, attitudes, which can be obtained through different ways. This is not the aim of my topic today. My aim, first of all, which is going to the decision makers, is to reconsider the collaboration between English department and other departments, and also to find out a way that the students can be activated through different glossaries and different, what you call dictionaries. I'm afraid that I'm being bored, but when we talk about English learning, we talk, because some of you have preceded me, and they talk actually about the role of technology. And I think technology is not only for obtaining fluency or accuracy, not only for culture, but I think also for our students, I think it helps in active learning, which we always talk about active learning, and we talk about classroom management. These two hectic problems always arise about, organizing or controlling classrooms and, the students. Why do we use technology? I mean, when we talk about technology, as you know, my respected speakers before me have, stressed the importance, and I don't want to repeat what they have said, because I do agree with what they have said. But I think technology provides authentic information, realistic and authentic information, which we don't find usually in books. It is interactive, it is reliable, and actually technology is a source of cultural and linguistic materials, which we don't find in academic books. And I do agree with Dr. Ali that we need to design learning, design how our students learn through authentic, and reliable and interactive techniques. People talk about jobs, and some people talk about the threats that technology is hammering on our heads, you know. They talk about unemployment, that technology is now replacing human beings. But I think this is not true. As well as technology replaces human beings, Dr. Fareh talked about, different other options, other new jobs, future jobs, you know, which are available. I have mentioned some here. I don't know where I have. Yes, I have mentioned here some jobs like researchers, you know, the second language. Always students and teachers can be researchers through technology. can be what you call, apart from researchers, they can be consumers and producers of technology, directors, managers. I'm just moving fast to save time. Managers, and the way the students use technology is not that any more traditional way which we use. So we emphasize. But here there is a point that I would like to mention, and I'm afraid of that one, that our teachers and students, by stressing much on technology and CMC, computer-mediated communication, that our minds are becoming electrocentric minds, which I don't, agree, because you also said we are human beings. First of all, we shouldn't be electrocentric minds, and of past pro method, there was by Prof. Arishi talking about pro method, that eclecticism. This is also proves the role of humanity in the classroom. I feel that I'm doing slow and boring, but let me talk about only types of here. Whoa, I'm going the wrong way, Yes, here there are some points which I'm, as experts, software developers, experts, all these are available jobs, professionals for the users. One standard measure is suggested. Teachers should learn to use digital technology. I notice here that teachers are trained only for language and language substances. They are not trained for using digital devices, not much. The dose of training for using technology is not as equal as using what you call as teaching training. Where here is betraying me, lead teachers to learn to use digital and lay out a clear set of targets for judging technology competencies for language learning. This is another crucial point, that language competencies. Motivate teachers, educators, and teach education programs to integrate technology, training, and use into curricula. Technology and learning are still insisting on avoiding being electrocentric. Another one, this is an important issue, that guide administrators and policymakers as they develop curricula, arrange training for in-service teachers, and make new hiring decisions. This is really crucial. Teachers are not well trained for using technology. Of course, they are better than before. Technology can be local at home, laboratories, or online environment. We can have offline or local environment and online environment. These are known. Actually, my friends, I am convinced that talking about using technology is an indebatable issue. Nobody denies the importance. I think, number one, because everybody is convinced that technology is essential. And number two, I believe that our teachers, young teachers, are better than us in using technology. And it's difficult to guide them for such a job. Here, I'm talking about development. Development here, by development, I mean creating materials, not drills, not grammar, not traditional or practical, traditional ways. Development, evaluation, and implementation. That is, when we talk about development, we talk about presenting your activities. And when I talk about evaluation, we talk about assessment, and also we talk about reinforcement of, materials. This is the diagram which can go beyond wise. Here we talk about the setting, we talk about the training, and we talk about the activities, setting, training, and activities. We have asynchronous and synchronous. Everybody knows asynchronous is not in real time, and synchronous in real time. Yeah, am I done? All right. Here the question is, what teachers and developers done to teach a skill, and what extent do they have done actually, and how can these resources be multiplied? These are, because I'm reading fast, the skills which can be motivated, can be improved, can be skills like listening, speaking, reading, other skills which are available and everybody knows about them. The last thing, ASR, ASR, we talk about automatic speech recognition for improving pronunciation and vocabulary. We talk about culture. The conclusion that teaching is not an easy mission. It's a very difficult mission, and teaching incorporates different activities. And the last thing, I feel that I am praised. So I would like to thank you all but the last point is that I like this saying that who the intellectual is not someone who knows many things, but the one who seeks to know, who has ability to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahir. I also believe in credit when credit is due. There is some information that we missed out on, which is Mr. Mahir has a postgraduate diplomas in education administration, journalism, and mass communication. So he's an expert in his field. So thank you so much. So Mr. Yasser Al-Duwairi, can you come up stage to honor our guest? Thank you so much. It has been an honor.
I just would like to thank Mr. Abdelhaleem for arranging this, and Dr. Hamzi also. Barakallah feek, barakallah feek.
باسم إدارة التعليم ومكتب فرسان نشكر الأستاذ أحمد عاصي على إدارة هذه الجلسة. باسم الملتقى وضيوفه نشكر طالبات مدرسة مجعر الابتدائية وطالبات مدرسة الدغرير الابتدائية على الفقرة اللي قدموها، فليتفضلوا مشكورين على المسرح لتكريمهم من الأستاذ ياسر. هناك تكريم يوم غد إن شاء الله للطالبات التي قدمنا نشيد في المعرض. نتمنى غدا نجدهم وليكرمهم. نشكر الأستاذ ياسر دويري مساعد للشؤون التعليمية بالإدارة العامة للتعليم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. في نهاية هذا اليوم الجميل، بالأصالة عن نفسي ونيابة مشرفي مكتب التعليم بمحافظة فرسان، أتقدم بالشكر الجزيل للزميلة رئيسة الشؤون التعليمية الأستاذة آمنة عيسى وجميع الزميلات في المكتب على الجهود الجبارة التي بذلت ليخرج الملتقى بهذه الصورة المأمولة. الحقيقة مهما تكلمنا وشكرنا لن نوفيهم حقهم، فهم من بداية هذا الأسبوع تركوا أسرهم وبيوتهم وظلوا يعني ينظموا هذا المكان وهذا الملتقى، فشكرا لهم بحجم السماع. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
طيب, it seems that we have reached the end of day one. As you all know, this is a two-day conference, and this is the end of day one. I would like to express sincere thanks to the organization committee of this conference, as well as I would like to express special thanks to our guest speaker, hoping that we can see you again tomorrow. Until then, peace be upon you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.